Thank you for joining First Warning MMA Report for another live fighter interview. We'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors, Jackson Yard Care, Plush Care, Heidlich Masonry, and Kiss My Fist, the hardest hitting edibles on the planet. We're joined live by Steve Pratt. Steve will be fighting Jorden Clark for the Pure FC Amateur Lightweight title on December 7th in Stevens Point. Thanks for taking time out of your training to join us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. So one thing that people will notice about you when you first step in the cage is you have a tattoo on your chest, and I know that every tattoo has a meaning. What does that tattoo say, and what's the story behind that?
Tattoo on my chest says Arbus Teneo Lupum, which is Latin for grab the wolf by the ears. So it kind of just take your fears head on. So
Nice.
Just something I try to live by now. I got it a few years ago, and it's definitely kind of defined me now. A lot of people like to call me Wolfman because of it. So
Nice. Yeah, I like that. It's pretty. It's unique, which is good.
Yeah, definitely.
So you fight out of Neutral Ground in Stevens Point. For those that don't, and it looks like you're there right now, by the way. For those that don't know much about Neutral Ground, tell us a little bit more about the gym and what you fell in love with when you first started training there.
Yeah, Neutral Ground is run by John Freeland. He was the founder of it. He has 3 locations in Milwaukee, and then there's one Neutral Ground in Grafton, one in Sheboygan, and then this one right here in the Stevens Point Plover area. Just kind of out of the blue, I wanted to change some things up. I was sick of just walking around, a weight room doing basic, weightlifting, things like that. So I started researching gyms that offer kickboxing and jiu-jitsu, things like that. And Neutral Ground popped up. So I popped in, gave it a shot, and everybody was extremely welcoming here and just a pleasure to work with. So it's been an awesome experience so far, and I'm glad I made the decision to come here.
Excellent. Yeah, I know it's always makes it a little bit easier when you first walk into a place like that and everyone's friendly and open and inviting.
Yeah.
Makes it feel a little bit better.
Yes, it does. I know a lot of these gyms kind of get those negative stereotypes of, people kind of puffing their chests out and, acting real tough, things like that. But this group was not like that. Everybody, no matter what level anybody's at, they're always willing to help you and always kind of bring you along. So
excellent. Well, and you're really strong from the fights you've seen you in, and you're extremely well rounded. How long have you been training there?
Just over 2 years now. Okay. So I got a little bit of a late start. So
yeah. Was baseball your sport?
Yeah, I'd say so. I guess I was kind of back and forth. Baseball was one of my main sports. I wanted to play college baseball. I kind of gave up on the wrestling after high school, mainly just because I was kind of sick of cutting weight. Now look at me now, I'm back at it again. But yeah, baseball was my main sport. I still coached over at the high school for about 8 or 9 years, and so but it's good to get back kind of in the swing of things, wrestling style wise, and just kind of that way. So
absolutely. So do you feel like you're more comfortable on the ground, or are you more of a stand and bang guy, or which do you prefer, and where do you feel more comfy?
If you would have asked me that about, I'd say a year ago, I would have told you I'm more comfortable on the ground, just because of the wrestling background. But I feel like I'm getting really comfortable on my feet. That's kind of been the big thing. I'd say pretty much everywhere I'm feeling comfortable. It's kind of the nice thing right now. I'm starting to kind of put things together, and things are starting to click right now. So, do I like being down on the ground? Yes, I do. But I'd say right now on my feet, I'm really comfortable on my feet.
Yeah, I know your last fight, you dropped your opponent pretty early in the first round with I think it was a straight right. That was
yep.
I thought the fight was over right then and there.
Yeah, he's a tough dude. He took it. He wore it. He kept coming.
Yep. Yeah, and that fight took place in Stevens Point back in March.
Yep.
And that place was electric and really loud when you came out. Are you excited to fight back in your own backyard again?
Yeah, absolutely. Just as far as I only have to drive a couple minutes to weigh-ins. I'm just familiar with all the surroundings, everybody around, and People that aren't able to make those 2 or 3 hour trips are able to make this, and it's definitely a different feeling fighting right in your own backyard. So I'm extremely excited to do it for a second time here. So
Excellent. Yeah, and like we said, you're fighting out of Stevens Point, so like you're saying, you're right there. I mean, not
oh
a
yeah,
long drive. You get to sleep in your own bed, everything.
yep.
And like we were saying, you have a huge following. Do you have anything you want to say to your fans before the crazy fight week starts?
Yeah. First and foremost, I just honestly appreciate everybody's support. I mean, it's just overwhelming sometimes. I mean, I remember the last fight when I was in the cage and he was announcing my name. It literally kind of took my breath away when I'm standing there and everybody's just kind of roaring. So I can't thank everybody enough. I've got a core group of like 15 to 20 people that have pretty much made it to every single fight. So, I mean, I appreciate the hell out of them, and I'm just excited here. And the unfortunate part is, I mean, especially after the fight, it's so hard to get around and thank everybody for attending the fight and supporting you and buying tickets and everything and taking away from a Saturday night to come and watch a fight. So just first and foremost, I just want to thank everybody ahead of time, and I'm hoping it's a good show. So
Excellent. Yeah. So one of your losses came to Garrett Carlson. And I know that we have
yep.
him ranked as the #1 amateur 155er in Wisconsin. And I feel like you won that round if you the first round against him, and if you didn't, it was extremely close. And then obviously you got a quick takedown on him early in the second round, and you just got caught in an armbar. It happens. I would have liked to see that fight go longer because I would have liked to see what would have happened. That was definitely, from what I've seen, that was the biggest challenge of Garrett's career. What did you learn from that fight, and how has it, changed you for the better as a fighter?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I learned patience. I mean, I was in, just that wrestling mentality, the over aggressiveness is kind of what did me in there. I should have been patient, waiting for things to open, but I was just in a hurry to throw strikes, and I got sloppy. So definitely learned from that. Also, I mean, not even just that fight, the following fight against Zach Brogard. I guess one of my biggest problems has been I like to go hard, 100%, but I need to learn to kind of when to go, when to hold back, when to kind of conserve, and just all 4 fights all together. Those first 4 fights, I really learned to kind of conserve energy and be smarter in that way. So that my last fight against Franklin, I thought I was a little smarter, and I had a lot more wind in my sails for the whole duration of the fight. So
Nice.
yeah.
And who do you plan on having in your corner for this fight?
My head coach, Mike Sixel, definitely. Paul Higgins, he fights out of the gym. He's been focusing a lot right now on coaching, so he's been huge. And then either JD Ballou or Jocko Rude. Jocko Rude might be in the corner. So,
Nice.
he's another guy that's unfortunate. He had a little arm injury here. He had a couple opponent changes, so he's not going to be fighting on the card. But he's in this gym every day, working just as hard, trying to help all the fighters get ready. So
Excellent. So
don't be surprised to see him. Yeah.
He's been one of your main training partners then for this fight or for this camp.
Yeah, as much as he can. Like I said, he's having those arm problems. Will Haddix, who's fighting on the card at 155 as well, he's been a big training partner of mine. I mean, we just, especially in rounds, we really mix it up with everybody. I mean, all weights, everything. So all the guys fighting on the card I've been training quite a bit with. Coach Sixel, he's been getting after me. So, but yeah, I'd say Will Haddix, Jocko Rude, Paul Higgins, Coach Sixel, Derek Boy, those guys have been some big time training partners for sure.
Excellent. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you guys get back in there and throw down. So I have to ask this too, just because we're a few days away from Thanksgiving. What's it like training for a fight and having to deal with a weight cut and everything? Knowing that Thanksgiving's a few days away.
Yeah. Not too worried about it. I'll probably eat a little bit here and there, but there's something a little more important on the line than just one night of eating as much food as I want. So after December 7th, I can treat every day like Thanksgiving for a little bit. But, the holiday coming in there kind of throws a wrench in things, but I'll find a way to get in the gym and take care of my weight. I'll be smart. So
Excellent.
it'll be all right.
Yeah, weight cut's going pretty good for you then?
Yeah, this is the best it's ever been, to be honest with you. So, I mean, I'm a little ahead of schedule, and which is huge. Can just focus mainly on training then, and then the last little bit of weight kind of the week of the fight. So things are kind of falling into place.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I hate seeing those guys that just kill themselves making weight, and then you can see it in their performance, and so it'll be good to see you nice and fresh. And as we mentioned before, you're fighting Jorden Clark for that lightweight title. What do you know about Jorden, and what do you feel like you need to do to get the win in this fight?
He's tough. That's a fact. I know he's a 3-1. He's fighting out of Pura Vida. He's tough on his feet. He's the same thing. He's well-rounded. So I gotta be on my A game in all aspects of the fight. Watched a little bit of footage on him. I'm trying to kind of focus on what I need to do right, what I need to execute that night, and kind of hoping to make him have to adjust. So I know a little bit about him, but nothing, not a whole lot, I guess. Just focusing on getting myself ready and taking care of the things I got to take care of here.
That makes sense. I'm actually surprised. A lot more people say that than I thought. I thought there'd be a lot more people that watched a lot of film on people, and it seems like more interviews we do, we hear a lot more people that are just more interested, and they care more about themselves, about as far as taking care of business, not worrying about what the other guy's going to do. Which is kind of surprising, because I would have thought there'd be more people that watched a lot of film. Do you have a prediction on how this fight ends?
No, I don't want to get into that. I think it'll be a good one. I think it'll be a lot of action in it. I have a prediction or an outcome I want to have happen, and that's me getting my hand raised by any means necessary. But as far as how I think it's going to play out, we'll find out. I'm just envisioning getting my hand raised. That's all it is. So Excellent. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to that one. It's going to be, we just had the 145-pound belt fight in Waukesha, and that was kind of one of those where I thought, people were sleeping on a little bit, and this is another one I think people are might be sleeping on a little bit. I think it's going to be a really good fight. Do you have any sponsors, training partners, family, friends, anybody like that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, first off, I just want to give a shout out to everybody just here at the gym. Coach Mike Sixel, he's a good friend, awesome coach. Just putting in all the time, all the sacrifice, time away from the family. His family's able to actually be here around the gym. Want to give a shout out to Jacob Stedman. He's fighting on the card. He's making his kickboxing debut. Nick Weiler's making his kickboxing debut. And then Derek Boy is going to be fighting for his first time in 2 years. And then Will Haddix, he'll be fighting on the card. So I want to give a shout out to those guys. And then sponsors-wise, I want to thank Brad Stroik over at Deep Freeze Ice Fishing, Andy Hartvig over at Redneck Deer Blinds. I want to thank Colton Kissinger. He's with Global Life Family Heritage Division. And missing one right now. Give me a second. Oh, make sure you cut that out. I just want to thank Jay and Jim Billings over at Final Score. So, and lastly, should thank the girlfriend, because she puts up with a lot, especially with the weight cutting, the crabbiness. She's a saint, and she's just a huge part of the reason why I'm able to do what I'm able to do. So I want to thank her and her family for all the support. So
excellent. Yeah. It's good people in your corner. Like I said, we're excited to see you and Jorden fight, and we'll be watching for your teammates as well. And we really appreciate you taking the time to talk with First Warning tonight.
Hey, appreciate it, man. You guys are killing it. Keep up the good work.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. We appreciate it. All right, take it easy.
And we'll see ya.